How's it going, everybody? Martin with Belvoir Auto Spa, back with another video for you all today. It's finally not, it's been a brutal summer here in Texas. It's finally not so hot outside anymore, so I can do videos in my garage again without sweating my behind off. So today's video we're going to be reviewing the DIY Detail Rotary Jeweling Pad. Now this is a very soft waffle pad made for your finishing or jeweling stages with your rotary polisher, but you can also use it with a dual action force rotation if you want. It's intended to work best with a rotary polisher, and that's why we've got the SPTA rotary polisher here, the cordless one. I will link this, everything else in the description below. All the DIY detail stuff, by the way, I've got a persistent 10% off discount code. Use it whenever you want. It helps the channel out, so I definitely appreciate you guys that use that discount code ordering their stuff. Anyways, so I've got the product. So what we're going to be using, gold standard polish. We're going to be using it for all steps here. Just to give you a rundown of what we're going to do, I've got a panel that I've scuffed up with a hard bristle brush. And I'm going to show the different stages of their pad system, what it can do. So we've got the DIY purple foamed wool pad here. This, again, all these pads can be used with dual action or rotary. I'm going to be using rotary here. So we're going to use this with the rotary as our cutting stage. And then we will use the gold standard pad as the polishing stage and the jeweling pad as the finishing stage. So, you know, back in the day when people talk about three-step corrections, this is what that's like. Now, this isn't necessary. This is just me showing you the difference between the pads and their abilities. That's it. Okay. And what I got over here, just for comparison, this is Rupe's. They have a waffle pad system as well. They've got a blue coarse, yellow fine, and white ultra fine. Now, I will say, you got 3 pads here and 3 pads here. This is softer than this. Yeah, it's definitely softer. Their blue pad, Rupe's blue coarse pad, is a little bit more coarse than DIY's gold standard pad. And then this yellow pad is a little bit more firm than this red pad. And then this white pad also is still a little bit more firm than this red pad. So there is a different system. They have their own polishes to go along with that. I just wanted to show you different systems other brands use. And when it comes to using a rotary, guys, yeah, it is tough to finish without haze. And it's all in your technique. It's all in your pad choice. It's all in your compound choice. All those things factor in. If you're one person that likes to use one compound for everything, you might run into some trouble. It's just my honest opinion. Now, the gold standard polish, it's a pad dependent polish. This stuff finishes out very well, finishes out better than 3D1. But I noticed the polish itself doesn't have the best cutting capability, but if you pair it with the right pad, like their wool pad, you can get really good cutting. That's how they develop their system like that, and it's a good system. Every company has the way they develop their system. That's how DIY did it. And you know, DIY comes from the mind of Ivan LaCroix, as well as Nick. Ivan's been doing this stuff since before I was born. That man knows a rotary polisher, and I believe he designed his stuff around using a rotary, but he also made it dual action friendly. Again, you can use it with dual action or rotary. We're going rotary here to see what we can accomplish. But let's get over to our test panel, and I will show you what that looks like. Here's the test panel here. It's a nice little reflection of me, so I don't go out on camera too much, but there you go. Turn the light on, we can see all the imperfections. So like I said, I use a stiff bristle brush to cause all these little swirls. This is similar to what you're going to find on your average car. This is what their paint's going to look like. When there's no light directly on it, it looks great, right? It's still somewhat glossy. You put a light on it and it just looks like a spider-webbed mess, like Spider-Man shot his web all over your car. So this is what this pad system's intended for. Can you get out harder stuff? Sandpaper marks, yes. But this isn't a body shop system. This is a detailer and enthusiast system. So let me get everything pulled up and we will get started. Okay, first things first, with especially with a rotary, you're going to want to get your pad slightly damp. Now, you can buy pad conditioning sprays. You can use regular detail sprays. You can even use DIY's rinseless wash, and you can put that in a spray bottle and spray it directly into the pad. I've got my pad washer here, the Lake Country System 4000. You can use this to prime the pad as well. I like using this because it gets it primed thoroughly. Pretty simple. That gets the pad nice and wet. Now you don't want it sopping wet, so we're going to spin it dry so it's just damp. And my rotary doesn't spin at as high RPM as a corded one, so it takes a little bit of time. But if you got a corded rotary, this will be dry in no time. Alright, simple as that. Pad's ready to go. Take your gold standard polish. One strong spray. That way it's all spread out through. If you pull the trigger a little weak, it just comes out in a stream. If you pull it strong, it really sprays out. That's all you need to get started. So let's get over to the panel and then we'll get started on this. Alright, I'm going to do this in real time just to show you there's no effects. I didn't fix anything off camera. So we got everything still swirled up here, right? Now, the gold standard pad can probably get this stuff out too. I've actually shown in a different video what that pad's capable of. But this one we're showing the pad system, right? So let's go ahead and get this started. Now, Ivan says to use the lowest speed available on your polisher, so I'm going to listen to him. I usually like to kick it up a little bit more, but since this is the DIY system, that's what he suggests. Let me go ahead and do that. Now, wool pads are a little bit more grabby than foam pads. So you might feel the polisher fighting you, like see it wants to pull around, so if I kind of just let it do its thing, all I got to do is guide it, and it'll go where I want it to. If you find yourself fighting it, just ease off a little bit. But you want to keep the pad as flat as possible on the surface. This is why usually for cutting I like using a long throw 21mm polisher. For me it's easier to get through it and it cuts a little bit faster. Everyone's got their opinion, but in my opinion a long throw with a microfiber cutting pad can cut faster than a rotary with a wool pad. You just got to be careful because long throws can really generate some heat with a microfiber pad, so you just got to be careful with those. Wool pads on a rotary tend to run cooler, but again, if you hold it in one spot, you might run into trouble. If you want to skip through the video, feel free. Alright, we'll go ahead and wipe that off and we'll inspect and see how that did, if we need more passes. What I like about DIY's polish is it wipes off so easily. Take a look at that. Other than the edges where I didn't get thoroughly in the middle, all those scratches are gone. Now, it may not be picked up on camera, but I do have the slightest rotary hazing. And that's, in my opinion, that's going to happen with a wool pad on a rotary. It's possible on the right type of paint to get that without hazing, but this is not a super hard paint, so. And just to prove that there's no fillers in this, I know someone's going to say it, let me grab a prep spray. So in this case, I'm all out of the DIY prep spray, so I'll use Car Pro Eraser. Oh, I love the smell of eraser. Nothing smells better, I swear. Yeah, oh, you shouldn't be inhaling chemicals. Yeah, I know, whatever. I don't think this one's too bad, but who knows. You probably really shouldn't be. But It's not like I'm inhaling it directly, it's just the aroma that it has. The fragrance, I guess you should say. Okay, so there is panel light. Let's show the panel again. And yeah, scratchers are gone. We got some rotary hazing. You can kind of see it. It's easier to see in person. So then we're going to go to the next step. And I'm going to show you guys the difference. I'm just going to tape this off. So this is where we did just the wool pad is going to be on this side. We're going to use the gold standard pad. So let me get that pad prepped and then we'll get to it. Alright, got the gold standard pad primed and ready to go. Well, not primed and polished, but there we go. And I got some on the panel. It always happens. It only happens when I'm on camera, I swear. Because I'm nervous, guys. Okay, let's get this done with the gold standard pad. Now this pad, being a waffle pad in foam, easier to control. It doesn't want to pull me around as much like the wool pad. And you'll notice that the more aggressive the pad is, the tougher it is to control the machine. Because the pad's more grabby. And now it's singing to me. That's when you got your paint squeaky clean, I guess. We'll inspect what difference that made. I got rid of all of our rotary haze. Yeah, it's just got some polish residue, so let me get that cleaned off. You can see the tape line. Well, I don't know if you can see it on camera, it's right here. Let me get this cleaned off. Alrighty, there we go. Polishing residue is gone. So I can see slightly the haze left over right here. You can see that from the wool pad. But if we come over here, the paint looks dang near mint. Look at that, looks great. So next I'm going to use the jeweling pad. Now on this paint we're probably not going to be able to see a difference, so I'm not going to put a tape line down. I'm going to go over the area with the haze here, and I'm also going to go over this area with the jeweling pad to see if it makes any difference. So let me get that pad prepped and we'll be right back. Alright, so the jeweling pad is primed, or it's dampened, so let's go ahead and spray it. And again, I got some on the panel. The nature of using sprays, but whatever, not a big deal. Let's get this taken care of. Now this pad's much softer. This is very, very easy to control, very simple. Almost effortless using this pad. Now I do kind of wish this pad was beveled, but you know, it's not the end of the world. But this is how you really get your hologram-free finish, is with a pad like this. And usually on a stage, you know, on your finishing stage, you can move a little bit faster. Alrighty. That pad is very pleasant to use, very easy to control. I've got zero complaints about it. Honestly, it could not get easier with that thing. So I'm glad it finally released, because that gold standard pad, I'm telling you, on some paints, if you tried to use a rotary, I was getting holograms on softer paint. Think GM black. Well, now some people said GM black's hard. Some people said it's really finicky. I did GM black on a Corvette, and I tried using the gold standard pad, but it was leaving haze, so I wasn't able to do it with a rotary. But you know, those compound wiped off. Alright, now let's see if I took out the rotary haze from the wool pad. And it's funny, I still see a distinct line right here. So we definitely got a better finish on this side with that jeweling pad. Over here, you still slightly see the haze. Don't mind over here, I didn't polish this section right here that's showing up. But yeah, it still did a pretty good job. I mean, for most people, you guys probably watching this are like, what are you talking about? I don't see any difference. I can see a line where basically the paint is more rich right here, where I hit it with the gold standard pad before I did the jeweling pad. Over here, it's slightly more dull, I guess you could say, but it is still very shiny, very deep and reflective. So this pad definitely does a good job. If you follow up after a polishing pad, you're going to get a really, really rich finish. If you try to go straight from a cutting stage to that, you're still going to get a good finish. For most people, they're probably going to be happy with that. But if you're really just going for everything, you're going to want to make sure you go through the steps. But there you have it, guys. The gold standard, or excuse me, I mean, that was one of the ones. It was the gold standard, but the DIY jeweling pad. Let's go over for our final thoughts. Alrighty, boys and girls, so DIY's full polishing system is finally available with everything. We've got the cutting, we've got the polishing, and we've got the finishing. So where and when would you use these pads? If you are really want to be OCD about it, you can use all three and go through the steps. If you're just trying to get rid of swirls, minor swirls, you can use just this pad. If you're getting rid of sand marks, some really, really dull, faded, oxidized paint, I would say use this one. And if you're just going for gloss, and you know what, maybe the scratches, the swirls don't bother you so much, you just want your paint glossier, you can go straight to this one. This works great with a rotary as well. I know a lot of people still have a rotary somewhere in their garage. You can use this without getting any haze. This is a great pad. I'm glad they released it. It's very soft. Again, it's not a defect remover. This is just a glosser. So this is your gloss. This is your swirl remover. This is your bad paint fixer. But if you use this, you're going to need to follow up with one of these, guaranteed. I'd say if you get this, definitely get this with it. Or if you want to remove your swirls and then get that nice, perfect glossy car show finish, use that one. And what's wonderful is you can use them all with the gold standard polish. You don't need to change your compounds for each one. And then you got your rinseless wash that you can use as your pad cleaner in between. So pretty good stuff. So thanks again, Ivan, for getting in touch with me, sending this out. If I got anything wrong, anyone watching at DIY Detail, put it in the comments below. I'll go ahead and pin it just to make sure people don't get led astray. But yeah, the DIY has been a great line since it's released. They've been around for about a year now. They've got a lot of knowledge and expertise behind the brand. I got some other products from them I'll be testing eventually, mainly the interior ceramic and the water spot remover. I've heard good things about this. I've heard good things about this as well, so we'll see how it goes. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what your favorite DIY product is in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts. Other than that, like the video, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Keep them clean. Have a good one.